first edition of the Pigskin Preview. I'm your host, Andrew Bacon, and we are here out on beautiful Hanson Field. It's about 80-90 degrees outside, so it is a little hot. Well, you might see some sweating by us. You might even see me, if you look close enough, get a little bit crispy. But hey, the show must go on, so let's go ahead and let's get rolling here. Over the 2013 off-season, Fighting Leatherneck Football made a head coaching change. They now bring in their 27th head coach in program history. This coach came from Minnesota Duluth and has 2 national championships to his name, and also was named Coach of the Year twice. So I introduce head coach Bob Nielsen. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thanks, my pleasure.
So, Coach, how has the offseason been so far for you transitioning into the first game?
Well, it's been good. At the same time, there's been a lot to do. You start about way back in early January, building the staff, getting a recruiting cycle completed. Follow that up with spring practice, and then already into a new recruiting cycle for 2014. It was a good summer. We had the majority of our team that stayed around here during the summer in preparation for that first game last week.
And then, as you said, that first game last week, we played the Hampton Pirates. The Hampton Pirates were coming in as an FCS school from Virginia, and so coming to the game, the Leathernecks really just dominated the game to start out with, and all the way through for the most part, as the Leathernecks would go on to win 42-9. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the highlights. We're going to send it out to commentators Nico Hefflinger and Garrett Canuck.
Snap to Williamson, drop back, and he's under a little bit of pressure, and that's going to be picked off. And an interception for the Leathernecks by strong safety Jonathan Rollins. Again in the shotgun, signals out to Lance Lenore, and he's looking that way once again, and that's going to be a completion and very close to a first down. This time, once again, a handoff to Nico Watson, who's going to break a tackle and get very close to a first down. Another gain of about 5. As Norvell going to give another handoff to J.C. Baker, and he's going to be up the right side, and he is just short of the end zone. On the head as Nico Watson checked back in as he's going to set up this score. But there's a flag on the field.
Illegal substitution, defense.
As that's going to be an illegal substitution waved off. And Western Illinois starts off the 2013 season on the right foot, Nico.
Play action pass is a bootleg out to the right side and a catch made by Fredson Solomon. Is Norvell going to drop back and have a nice time in the pocket and throw it up, and a nice catch made by Lance Lenore in very tight coverage. 8 yards. As Hampton shows blitz on the left side, J.C. Baker up the middle, and he's going to cut it to the outside as he's got a little bit of space. Another nice push from the Western offensive line.
55 just started the second quarter.
And the kick is going to be blocked. Saw action in all 11 and playing very well so far as the lefty Swain is going to have a lot of time, and he's going to throw this one up, and that's going to be completed pass for about 8 yards for Hampton.
Yeah, Western Illinois doing a great job swarming to the ball. Butler now 3 tackles on the night.
Williamson going to complete a pass to Twan Mixon, and he's going to break to the left side, get a block, and get almost to the 20-yard line.
Defensively here, Nico, to keep Hampton off the board.
Williamson's going to get the snap, and that time a play-action pass, and that's going to be a completion and a Hampton touchdown. Rookie of the year. A very talented player here in his senior year, and that throw once again targeting Chisholm, but that is going to be a little out of the reach.
And he says, I'm just going to tag you and bring you along with me.
It's a ball, that football's on the ground. Ryan Deming picks it up, and a Leatherneck touchdown.
Absolutely huge for Western Illinois. The defense coming up big. You got to hang on to the football. Deming says, that's mine. Scampers into the end zone, and once again the defense setting the tone here at Hanson Field, Nico, for Western Illinois.
Western looking like they're going to send the house, but a lot of players dropping back, and a nice punt from Faber Kinney as Antoine Ford going to have to drop back, catches it at the 30, and eludes a tackle, and he's going to head to the left side. He's got some space, a nice block laid down, and he is going to get to the 30-yard line. Great punt return by Antoine Ford. Running back to his right, he's going to drop back, instantly look to the left, and the catch made by Lance Lenore. Fourth and short. Norvell with the fake, he's going to hold it, and eludes a tackle, and he's going to pick up a first down.
15-yard line.
This time a handoff up the middle. Nico Watson that time getting a nice gain after having a little bit of struggles here in the second quarter. About a 22-yard attempt, a low snap, and that's once again going to be blocked.
As that is something that's going to need a little bit of work here for Western Illinois.
Unfortunately, at the end of the first half, as we saw there, the field goal attempt by the Leathernecks would be blocked. But however, Coach, there were a lot of ups as well and a few downs. So can you just assess how the Leathernecks performed in the first half?
A lot of good things. Some things certainly we identified that need improvement. I was really pleased with the way our defense played. We went into the game knowing that winning the turnover margin game would be a big part of the outcome, and I don't think we even would have, in our wildest dreams, assumed that we would have had a +9 turnover margin. But that part was good, and our defense has been ahead of our offense all through the preseason with the experience that we have there, and it was nice to see them step up to be able to make the kinds of plays that they did.
All right, and so we are now going to take a quick break, but we will be back to show the second half highlights. You're watching the Pigskin Preview.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. Coach, being up just 15-6, what did you say to the team in the locker room to get them ready for the second half?
I didn't say a lot. There were a few minor adjustments that we needed to make offensively. We didn't execute well in a couple of critical situations. Some of that was just our inexperience. Some of that was some adjustments to scheme that we thought could be beneficial. The big thing is that we tried to emphasize that we're capable of playing better. Even though things had gone our way in a number of areas, we were capable of being a much better football team the second half. I think we showed that. Again, we struggled a little bit with consistency offensively, particularly when we got ourselves behind the down and distance markers and got a little bit off schedule. But defense made two great plays in the third quarter, generating defensive scores, and set up another offensive score. And so all of a sudden the game gets separated, and we did have a chance to play a lot of people.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights. As he said, a lot of big plays, so let's check them out. Let's toss it out to Nico Hefflinger and Garrett Canuck.
Leatherneck crowd on a big third down play. He's going to look to the right side to make a completion to Chisholm, who's going to break a tackle on a juke and get into Western Illinois territory. And since signaling he wants to snap in a play action pass, a lot of time in the pocket. He's going to go deep, and he's got a man, and a catch made inside the 10-yard line. Going to have a long first down play as Williamson once again getting a lot of time, a little bit of pressure. That's going to be picked off.
He's got a lot of room up the right sideline.
He's taking a move, and he could go all the way. He's to the 50. A flag is on the field as he crosses the 30 inside the 10, and a touchdown for Dallas Nichols.
There is no foul for targeting on the play. The result of the play is a touchdown.
And Swain once again going to roll out to the right side. Jacoby Sessions just misses him, and he's going to roll all the way back to the left and buying a lot of time, and that's going to be a first down completion. Swain once again rolling out, and that time Eddie Holschlag laying a big hit on the quarterback, and that time Jonathan Rollins' second interception of the game.
Done a very good job as the strong side linebacker here tonight.
This time Ethan Bashinsky in the backfield. That's going to be another interception. Kevin Kitzel, and another Leatherneck touchdown. Game for the Western Illinois defense, as once again Williamson going to be in there. This pass deflected high in the air.
New quarterback into the game for Hampton, Brian Bailey, the freshman out of South Carolina, getting his first action here tonight.
And that pass almost picked off, but just over the fingers of Jonathan Rollins.
Brian Bailey getting his first snaps of the
and that ball's going to be out of his reach. He's going to pick it up though and launch it down the field. That's going to be picked off. Devon Butler with the 5th turnover of the game for the Leathernecks.
Western Illinois, so
Brian
second
Bailey,
long.
Time going to hand that one up, and 3 or 4 Leathernecks once again swarming the ball. That ball is on the ground, and the Western Illinois defenders saying they got it. I thought the ball was out, but nobody was really reacting that way. Forced the fumble, but Bashinsky was the first one in there. A play action pass, and Norval's going to go deep again. He's got a man, and a catch made by Fredson Solomon inside the 20-yard line. Top of your screen. And Nico Watson in the backfield. Watson's going to get the carry and be met at the 7-yard line, but rumble his way to the 5.
You gotta like when you mix it up a little bit.
Oh,
Bring back the old school.
And we're going to have a handoff to Nico Watson, who's going to rumble his way, and that is close to a touchdown. Might have had a knee down at about the 1. Down the ball, and Norville once again, and that time he's in for the touchdown. A quarterback sneak, and Trenton Norville scores his first collegiate touchdown.
Numbers that we've seen here tonight, 7 of them, 5 picks and 2 fumbles.
First and 5, handoff into Leatherneck in the backfield, as that is John Mark Charles, as Brian Bailey going to go deep, and this is going to be another interception for the Leathernecks. As a 5-yard gain, that time Martinez Davis. Justin Blake back deep. Knuffman with the punt, and it's a little pooch punt. And that's going to bounce straight up and roll to about the 11-yard line. The Leathernecks jumped on it. They're saying it touched a Hampton player.
One of the Hampton players got pushed.
That is Leatherneck football with Hayden Northern, the position players, as this is going to be a fade route out to Adewale. And that is a Leatherneck touchdown.
All right, so Coach, as we saw there, a big win by the Leathernecks. Always good to get that first victory out of the way with, out of the way with. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box score now and look at the stats. So here you see the final for Western, 42-9 over Hampton. And as we take a closer look at the stats there, Trenton Norvell finishing 14 of 24 for 84 yards, the rushing touchdown. Nico Watson, 27 carries for 108 yards. And then he also had the touchdown in the first half. And then Dallas Nichols, he had a pretty good debut, I would say, for his first time ever being with the Leathernecks, as he had the interception, returned for a touchdown, 96 yards, and also had a fumble recovery. And besides a good debut by him, a good debut by the Leathernecks defense as a whole, as we saw there, 9 total turnovers. And Coach, I have to ask, is that something you guys practice in, or did it just kind of happen when the ball was just there for the snag?
Well, it is something you practice. You know, you talk about being opportunistic defensively, forcing turnovers, not just letting them happen. At the same time, you know, honestly, Hampton's very young at quarterback, and they made some mistakes in the passing game. Our guys were in the right place, made good breaks on the football. But a lot of the fumbles and things are second guys in, stripping the football, and we did a good job of not only generating turnovers, but capitalizing on turnovers and turning them into points.
What were your thoughts on how Trent Norville, in his first collegiate start as he redshirted at Cincinnati last year, what were your thoughts about his performance?
You know, well, a couple of things. You know, number one, he didn't turn the ball over, which offensively, you know, we're trying to minimize mistakes. We're a very young football team on offense. Got just a couple of really, truly experienced players there, and so we've got to play close to the best. I think the disappointing things were the fact that we weren't very good on third downs. We certainly had many more opportunities to score points. We've got to be a better football team and a better offensive football team in the red zone in converting. And as you pointed out from the highlights, you know, made some mistakes in the kicking game. There were some good plays, but also some areas that that need to be addressed, and sometimes it takes first games to identify those weaknesses fully, and those are things that we've got to get addressed this week.
All right, well, we're going to take another break, but stay tuned, as up next, I talked to a couple of the defensive players about, once again, as I said, the phenomenal play with the turnovers and the only allowing 9 points. And along with that, I talked to a couple of seniors about their new head coach, but don't worry, nothing bad said. It's all good stuff. Maybe not. We'll see. This is the Pigskin Preview.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown. Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com.
The Leathernecks have had quite the busy offseason this past year, with several new coaches and players being brought in. The Leathernecks defense, though, embraced all of these changes with open arms and has already started the season off with a bang, as last Thursday the team allowed Hampton to only 9 points.
We have a lot of additions, you know, and the funny thing is we had a lot of guys make plays last night, but we still have more. You know, we still have more guys that come out here and help us any type of way.
We got a lot of new additions. We have two JUCO corners, Rich and Q, and then we have a safety from JUCO, Dallas. Dallas came out, real athletic, playing strong safety, comes out, great ball skills. You know, he's a great addition to us, along with Rich, a good cover corner, and along with Q, another good cover corner who likes to hit.
trusting the person next to us, honestly. That's our really biggest new addition that we can believe that we could win.
You can check off having a winning attitude, and another thing you can check off is their team chemistry. The Leathernecks last Thursday night were just out there having fun and doing what they do best, making big plays.
The atmosphere of this team is like a family, so like I feel like the chemistry is just gonna show, like the way we get it, the way we celebrate, the way we get excited, it just really shows that we're playing for each other.
Coming in the summer, we got to work out and grind and be able to have that sweat and tears with each other, and being able to not have school and whatnot and be able to hang out and relax, have that R&R together, built a lot of chemistry.
When you could communicate on the field and feel like you could talk to the person next to you like they're your brother, it makes everything easier for you.
See, we all hang out a lot, you know, whether it's in the locker room or if it's at our house. We all hang out, and we all friends off the field, and it just carries over to the field.
And yeah, I'd say the team chemistry definitely carried over to the field, as the Leathernecks not only allowed the Pirates to score 9 points, but also created 9 total turnovers, 3 of which returned for touchdowns, making it so the Leathernecks defense outscored Hampton's offense.
Honestly, it's always our game plan to get turnovers. We need takeaways, and either whether that's interceptions or peanuts and get the ball on the ground, either way. But honestly, we just did our 111, did our job, and the ball came to us.
Honestly, I was just thinking, like, how many more can we reach? Like, it's like every time we touched the field, it was another turnover, another turnover. It was crazy. It just shows, like, in practice, like, if you prepare right and you just do what you're supposed to do and be in the right place at the right time like you're supposed to, the ball will literally just come in your hands. And that's what Coach always preached to us, just do what we tell you to do, and literally the ball will just show up.
It was really cool because, you know, normally we're on the sideline with stale faces. And to actually be able to stand on the sideline and smile, look at the scoreboard and smile is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, you can expect this out of us week in and week out. We just got to go back to the drawing boards, make sure we're doing our job and our assignment, and just trust the coaches that they're going to put us in the right position, honestly, and you can expect this every week.
We'll see, but I definitely have confidence in our defense. And, you know, Hampton is a pretty good team, and we showed that we're an experienced team yesterday the way we did. But, you know, we got to stay consistent. You know, it's a new day. We're on to the next game.
Coach, the secondary has a lot of experience. They're under second-year defensive coordinator, Coach Brian Ward. And so can you talk a little bit about just how well they performed, especially with it being just the first game?
Well, that's been the strength of our defensive team, the experience that we have in that position group, and that certainly showed up Saturday. You know, they made plays, really took away what Hampton wanted to do. Hampton wanted to be a spread football team and throw the ball on the perimeter, and I think it played into the strength of our defense, and our defense responded exceptionally well.
And then another thing I noticed at the game was on the sideline while I was shooting, I noticed that whenever a defensive play was made, the players were excited. It wasn't just maybe an individual, such as Martinez Davis with his interception or Dallas Nichols. It was the whole defense as a whole. They were all excited. It was, I mean, they were just ecstatic to see plays being made. And so how important is it to have that connection, that team chemistry already in the season, and how were they able to develop that over the offseason so quickly?
Well, we've stressed from the very beginning that football is the ultimate team game, and you make individual plays only because your teammates have generated the opportunity for you to make those individual plays. And you look at those interceptions, a couple of those were definitely situations where we had put pressure on the quarterback, forced him to throw the ball maybe out of rhythm or in a situation where he really didn't have a chance to read the coverage. You look at Dallas's interception return. I mean, there were 2 key blocks on that interception return that if those hadn't been made, and those are really hustle plays that you make on turnovers like that, it wouldn't have been a 96, 97-yard touchdown return. So I thought our guys played from that standpoint, a very hard, physical, and disciplined kind of football, which is what we want Leatherneck football to be about.
And then another thing about discipline and having those kind of important traits is leadership. And so I went ahead and talked to a couple of the seniors to talk about having a new head coach and what their thoughts on for you. So let's go ahead and tune in and see what they had to say.
Coach Nielsen, he's a great person. He's a great guy to be around. He's he really knows what he's talking about. He's really sound in all his fundamentals and teaching. He's a great coach. I like how he's come in and just pretty much try to revamp everything that we've been taught. He's trying to teach us how to win the right way and do everything the right way all the time. It's really been he has a captaincy, he has co-captains, he has a leadership program. He's trying to make everybody feel like they're a part of the team, and he's just doing everything he can to make sure that we get W's.
I love Coach Nielsen. Definitely brought a whole new type of mentality to the program. It's definitely a whole new era. I like the way I like where he's going with this program, and I think there's a lot of positivity, a lot of productivity coming up in the future.
With almost an entirely new staff besides defensive coordinator Brian Ward, I talked to a member of the offense, the defense, and the special teams to see what has changed so far.
Now we got Coach Tyler Yelk, who really has been working hard with us, the specialists, and the whole team, and getting the special teams or elite forces as good as we can. Coach Nielsen has also been very active with us, and he's really been stressing the importance of special teams and just having a winning attitude overall.
Well, I love the new offense. The new offense moves really fast. Quarterbacks are getting the signals in fast, and we're just moving at a fast pace. I've never moved at such a fast pace before. It's like we're reading and checking plays on the line every time, so it could be any kind of play that you just got to be ready for it.
Some of the techniques might have changed a little bit since last year, but with Coach Ward still being the leader of the defensive coordinator of the defense, it's pretty much the same. It's just we've improved a lot because we have a year under our belt. Last year it was kind of new to us. We were somewhat learning the defense and getting more used to it, and now I think we're finally got the hang of it, and I think it showed the first game, and I think we're just going to keep on improving and getting better week by week.
Adjusting to a new coaching staff can be hard to go through. However, with the right leadership, it can also be a smooth transition. With Ford and Famagetti both being seniors and Bowman a captain, they told me how important it is to have leaders and why they feel honored to be looked up to after being here in Macomb for several years.
I have a lot of memories here, man. I've been through a lot, all the seniors, been through a lot, that playoff year and just all the years in between. Just being a senior, this is your last trip, it's do or die. There's really no holding back. It's now or never, so you got to go all out, play every game literally like it's your last, because it's literally your last season, at least on the college level. So just really, keep that in the back of your head and just, do your best to, be as productive as possible.
We have a very young group of specialists other than me. It's kind of weird being the only senior among the freshmen, but I hope they all look up to me, see me as a good example, and I really would like to be a good example for them. And it's going to be something I'll sorely miss being a Leatherneck, but I'm going to try and make the most of this senior year opportunity, and it will go out with a bang.
I was still surprised when I got the nomination to be a captain for this year. Me, Jimmy, and Ethan, and we're all been best friends for 5 years, so it's pretty cool that we all got to be captains this year together. It was a great honor for me.
All right, we are now here joined with Dallas Nichols. Dallas is a defensive back for Western Illinois, and so I'd like to thank you for joining
Thanks for having
us. And what we're doing here, we're doing a new segment on the Pigskin Preview. It's called the 2-minute drill, where we're going to ask Dallas here as many questions as we can in 2 minutes, see how fast he can answer, see how much he can answer. So, Dallas, let's go ahead and get started here. Last week you had your first interception in your debut. What was that like?
It was a blessing, just exciting and just glad to make a play for my team.
And then what's something most people don't know about you?
I'm a godly man. I grew up around church, and my dad being a pastor, I was always in church every Sunday.
And then what's your major?
Exercise science.
And what do you want? What is your dream job after college?
To keep playing, hopefully, but if not that, to train other athletes, get them to their top potential, and try to get them to their dream.
Funniest guy on the team?
I have to say my boy Heisey. Just the things he does. I mean, he doesn't have to say a joke here. It's just actions. It's just funny.
Strongest guy on the team?
Probably Martinez Davis. His technique, and he might not put as much weight up, but his technique is there.
If I joined the football team, do you think that could switch?
Well, it might be race.
All right, so the NFL season is starting this week. What is a team that you see that could be a dark horse to get into the playoffs?
St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams?
I think they got a good draft pickup, and they got some weapons for Bradford to throw to this year.
And then, obviously they have the big rookie in Tavon Austin.
Yes,
is that
sir.
who you see as the MVP for Rookie of the Year?
Yes, sir. He's coming in hot right now. Shines on it. The lights on him.
And then what about 2 MVP candidates? Who you got?
I'm gonna have to say, it's a tough one. Probably Atlanta running back. Hopefully he could do something. And Kaepernick.
Kaepernick?
Yeah.
All right, and then what are the 2 teams that you see going to the Super Bowl this year?
I'm going to have to go represent for Cali 49ers, and hopefully New England could do it, and Brady could bring it home one time.
All right, and then what is your thoughts on having a Super Bowl outside this year?
It'll bring in the weather for once, actually, and see where the teams are at.
All right, and then final question here. What were some players that you looked up to growing up and now?
Looked up to Ed Reed just because how smart of a player he is, and LeBron James, he's a dominant player and how he handles his outside critics.
All right, well, that's the buzzer here. That's all the time we have here. But I'd like to thank Dallas Nichols for coming on, being our first player for the 2-minute drill.
Thanks for having me.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to take a look at the Missouri Valley Conference up next, so stay tuned. You're watching the Pigskin Preview.
We had been called up for the first time. Wildfires were getting close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is.
Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. We're going to go ahead and take a closer look at the Missouri Valley Conference so far. All right, so looking at the scores, as we talked about in the highlight and saw in the highlight, Western Illinois beat Hampton. Northern Iowa beat Iowa State, one of several FCS upsets over an FBS opponent. A couple other key ones, North Dakota State beating Kansas State. And then also we had Southern Illinois almost beat U of I. They almost beat Illinois. Very close there, came down to the wire for them. And so, Coach, how is it that these teams are already certain, or these FCS teams are coming up and getting these victories or almost victories?
Well, it certainly shows the strength of our league. When you have 2 league schools that go into Big 12 environments and win football games, and as you look at it from a perspective of being in this league, I guess I knew coming in just how good the league is, and it's games like that really put a stamp on that for the public.
And then a lot of people are saying that the Missouri Valley Conference is kind of like the SEC of the FBS. A lot of good teams here. There are several teams in the top 25, 3 currently in the top 10 for the FCS as a whole. Let's go ahead and now look at the conference standings. Obviously not a whole lot going on. 6 teams all had victories, and 4 teams had some losses, and some of those teams that had the losses were Illinois State, Southern Illinois, Missouri State, and Indiana State. And Indiana State was another team that played an FBS opponent in Indiana. And then let's go ahead and now take a look at the upcoming games this weekend, as we have Northern Iowa taking on Drake. South Dakota will go to Kansas, another maybe upset, you never know, another FBS opponent to try and upset. North Dakota State will face D2 Fair State. South Dakota State will travel up north to face rival North Dakota. Youngstown State will take on Morehead State. Missouri State, another possible FBS upset alert against Iowa. And then also we have Illinois State taking on Big Ten Purdue, possibly another one there, another good team. Southern Illinois take on Eastern Illinois, and Eastern Illinois had the upset over San Diego State this past weekend. And then also Illinois State will have an early bye week. And then, Coach, Western Illinois taking on Quincy. Quincy is a D2 school. They are obviously just a little bit away. It's not too far away from Macomb. And so what can you tell me about them and what to expect out of them?
Well, it's a little bit like last week. I wish we knew a little bit more. They haven't played yet. They have a relatively new coaching staff, a new coach that came in last year. So we're anticipating that a lot of what they were doing last year may carry over, but at the same time, they could be doing a lot of things differently. Biggest difference for them from last year to this year is they have a much more experienced team. They got a lot of seniors back, a group that will certainly be in a position to compete very favorably. So we've got to play well. We've got to improve the way we're capable of improving this week.
All right, and so Western Illinois will take on Quincy University here on Hanson Field at 1 p.m. So make sure you come out and support your Leathernecks. And then that is all the time we have here for the Pigskin Preview. For Coach Bob Nielsen, I'm Andrew Bacon. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you guys next week.